guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Tactical Edge. I'm Patrick.
I'm Sean.
And we are Maverick Tactical. And guys, thanks for tuning in to our first episode last week. And today we're doing episode number 2. Today we're going to talk about the GOA Gun Owners of America show. We're going to look at some things that were great about the show, some things that were some struggles in the show, but we're going to look at our overall experience in Tennessee, at Knoxville, and then we're also going to do a Q&A at the very end, so tune in, stay tuned for that Q&A at the end.
So we went to the GOA show this past weekend, which was essentially a huge gun show for us as the vendors. It's one of the biggest gun shows we've ever been to. And, Gun Owners of America is, gun rights activists and stuff like that. And they had all their members there for, getting together, having speakers and stuff, and really just getting the community together. But at the bottom floor of the convention center was all the vendors. And so we got there, we set up an awesome booth next to some incredible names in the firearm industry. We had Palmetto State down there.
Henry. We had the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Holosun had a nice booth.
Nice big
But I tell you
booth.
what, man, our booth was pretty sharp in comparison to a lot of them.
It was a nice booth. You actually saw it, like we said in the intro here, in the last podcast episode. That's exactly what we set up there at the show.
And then, on Instagram, didn't you do a little fast motion?
Yeah, we did a little time lapse of putting up the booth.
Yeah, the time lapse.
That time lapse, it was like 40 seconds or something, but reality it was like, 3 hours, 4 hours of setting up.
But I will say that booth was really nice to set up. It wasn't, really difficult. It was pretty easy and pretty cool with the backlighting and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also had Occupy beside us too, or in front of us.
Yes, Occupy is actually something we carry. We don't talk a whole lot about it in videos. We definitely need to film some more stuff about that. We actually did shoot a video. You might see that soon with William, the owner of Occupy. But yeah, we're partnered up with them. And
I think maybe we'll get into another part of an episode, maybe this episode or maybe another one where we'll talk more about Occupy.
Yeah, we can talk more about Occupy.
Yeah, Occupy is a great product.
We talk a while about that. But yeah, Occupy was right in front of us. They had a nice booth set up as well. And so we had some friends right there with us to experience it all with. And this was the first year of the GOA show, right?
It was.
So nobody really knew what to expect.
That's exactly right. They were saying like 50 to 60,000 people. We didn't get that many.
Yeah.
But, they didn't know for sure how many were going to show up and all. But it definitely wasn't, a SHOT Show per se. It wasn't that large, obviously. It was a smaller show. But it was our next step up, right?
100%. Yeah.
We've been going to North Carolina, a lot of shows around North Carolina that we do. This one was, Knoxville, little larger convention center, and a lot more names there.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger names. We saw a lot of media. Friday was media day.
Right. So that's, there was one media day, so it was all, social media influencers, a bunch of YouTubers, a bunch of podcasters, some news stuff, but we made some great connections there, talked to some cool people that never met before, but we've always wanted to meet them, like Mr. Guns and Gear. You got a couple pictures with him. He watches Mr. Guns and Gear a lot.
Yeah, I love he destroys armor.
Yeah.
So we like that, so as soon as I saw him, I recognized him, and he was a super nice guy, man. He came over and talked to us and spent some time with us.
Definitely. Very
impressed with Mr. Guns and Gears. Is a super nice guy.
Make sure you check him out. But who else? Righteous Savages.
Yep, John.
There's a YouTube channel. They're a Christian podcast, gun range, tactical gear channel. Pretty cool thing.
Yep.
They got going there.
Hopefully we'll have some content maybe with those guys.
Yeah. We're in the talks of some content with them, so maybe we'll get something rolling with them.
David Dorsey.
Yeah, a D-Boss Firearms.
Yep.
They got a whole YouTube channel and storefront they do firearms content with. So that was a great great person to meet.
A couple of guys that were with him, they tried on our concealed shirt.
Yeah, so
that was pretty funny, actually.
so
It was pretty cool.
His main guy, Dustin, and one of their friends, Lee, who's a pastor. There's some big dudes. Dustin's like a 5X guy, and they happened to see that concealed shirt, and so they started walking over. They're like, "You ain't got nothing that fits us." And we're like, "Oh, we got it. Don't you worry."
And Tina actually brought them over. She was the one that I had to give it to her. She actually went over and said, "Hey guys, I got some armor for you." Before we knew it, she was bringing these guys over, and they were like, "Bring it on, bring it on."
Yeah, they didn't believe it.
They didn't believe it, and so we made believers of them. That's what I love about that concealed shirt.
Yep. Well, 5X dude, and he fit in a 2X, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right.
5X dude fit in a 2XL concealed shirt.
I mean, it's spandex, so it's meant to do that. But people are amazed.
Yeah.
Because usually guys that big usually can't find armor, right, to fit them. So I don't want to, plug too much on on that. But it's true. That concealable shirt is a great item, and it fits really well, and it fits a lot of people.
Well, and that's why we were there, right? To show people what we have.
That's exactly right. To get beyond North Carolina. We have some dealers now in Pennsylvania and Texas, but we're mainly North Carolina. We're a smaller company and up and coming, and so we wanted to get our name out more.
Definitely.
And the very first day, on Media Day, the Knox County police guys walk over, see our stuff, really impressed with it, so they ended up buying some gear from us.
Yeah.
Right there. And that was Media Day. We weren't even expecting sales that day, but that was pretty cool. Glad, that's what we're about, guys. We're about the keeping you safe and the tactical gear. It's really cool when we're able to keep guys like those, police guys, security guys, and then even general public as far as that goes. But it's even more, to me, more fulfilling. I don't know what the word I want to use is, but yeah, that we're able to keep those guys safe.
100%. I mean, we had Agilite set up there with our stuff, and anybody who walks by and looks at an Agilite plate carrier, it's immediate. They're like, "Wow, this is actually the nicest plate carrier I've ever seen."
Yeah.
And it sells itself. It's not rocket science how amazing Agilite is. So it's great addition to our booth. We're so glad that we can team up with Agilite.
Yeah, 100%. We pair the best armor with the best carriers. Now, we do have some other stuff that we carry, other gear that's great gear, but we have a passion for Agilite. But yeah, I thought another thing too that was pretty interesting was the attorneys that were across from us.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool too. We're U.S. Law Shield. That's what we carry. U.S. Law Shield is personal defense for self-defense. It is definitely something for you to look at. I think we'll do a session on that as well, on what type of attorneys and things you need in the 2A community. But there was a different, I don't remember the name of the company, but it was very similar to U.S. Law Shield. Anyway, attorneys for self-defense.
Right.
And so they had sessions where they literally would invite you to come up and sit down in the chair and ask the questions.
Yeah. That was actually a really good idea for a booth set up to get some people around. Hey, there's a live Q&A session with two lawyers.
Right.
So
literal lawyers that are going to be the ones that answer the phone when you call. And that is one of the things. We'll go into more detail on another. That's a good session for us to do. We're going to do Occupy, then we'll do the attorneys. But I actually asked a question. I sit in that chair and I asked that question about Saber pepper gel. Specifically, we sell Saber. I like Saber. They're the best in my opinion. But pepper gel in general, pepper spray, when is it okay to use that? But that was a good, the answering and all of that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I learned from him when he asked his question, you cannot use pepper gel or pepper spray if somebody's verbally attacking you. They actually have to physically be coming at you, right?
Yeah, it needs to be equal reaction. Basically, I'm not a lawyer, so do not take it. I'm not giving
This
you
is
legal
not
advice.
legal.
This is not legal advice, which is why I kind of hesitated to say some of the things they said. But I'll just tell a little bit in that basically equal retaliation. So, for instance, if they said if somebody comes at you with a knife, can you use a gun? Yes, you can use a gun because a knife can kill you. So you can use a knife to kill somebody. So a gun kills somebody too. So just because they have a knife doesn't mean you can't use a gun. So pepper gel, obviously if somebody's coming out with a knife or a gun, you can use pepper gel. Hopefully you have something else than that. But if they're verbally just attacking you or just cussing at you, you basically can't do anything. Right. One of the interesting things I thought was very interesting from that guy, he said, if somebody comes up and says, I'm going to knock you out in 5 minutes, you can't do anything. Because he says it's going to be in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So he didn't threaten you immediately. He just said, in 5 minutes, I'm going to knock you out.
So it has to be like an imminent threat.
Yeah.
It has to be right then.
So if you were to attack that person at that point, that you don't have the right. Now, this is my understanding. Again, I'm not a lawyer. But that's why, in my opinion, you need something like that U.S. Law Shield or an attorney-based product that's out there. And again, we'll do a little more in depth on. Yeah. I think that's a good topic that we'll do on one of our other ones.
We were talking about different vendors there. I just remembered Daniel Defense was there, and they had the coolest setup. Man, they had basically how big do you think it was? It was a big trailer that a pull behind trailer,
fifth wheel trailer.
Yeah, probably at least 35 feet. Just this massive, beautiful paint job trailer, and then you walk up the stairs into this just showroom of guns. And man, Daniel Defense blew it out of the water. They always do, but that was one of my favorite attractions there.
But I think we learned a lot from this. We made a lot of good connections. We got people to see our product a lot more. And then I think, next year I think we did a 20 by 10 booth.
Yep.
Next time I think we're going to do maybe a 20 by 20. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little larger booth next time. Yeah. We got our feet wet, 100%. It was a good time for us to get our feet wet and see what was out there. And I'm going to tell you, I was really pleased with how we showed. I think we showed well.
We like we said, we didn't go in there really expecting anything, and we planned for looking good and showing what we do, and I think we stood out really well.
We got a lot of compliments.
Getting a good setup,
yeah, we had a lot of compliments, so that was really cool. We take those very honorably, very
take those to heart.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate stuff like that.
We definitely appreciate compliments because we spend a lot of time trying to figure that stuff out. And when it works out and when we get compliments, it means a lot, guys.
And then they had the speakers were all on the third floor, right?
Yeah.
So during the day, what they would do is say, for instance, there were several of the speakers that walked by our booth, like you named Mr. Guns and Gears, Mark Robinson came by our booth. Yeah. We had actually seen Mark at the Dixie Raleigh show a couple weeks before, and he had looked at our products, and he came by and said, hey, to us again, and saw our products. But he was one of the speakers there. Mark Robinson, of course, I don't know where you're viewing from, but he's a Republican candidate for governor in the state of North Carolina here locally for us. He's actually out of Greensboro, so he's right down the road from us. We love Mark, great guy, and stands for a lot of good stuff, especially in the 2A community. But so we saw him. But they would announce during the day when different speakers were coming. You could go up to the third floor and listen to those speakers. So I think that's a lot of what GOA is about, Gun Owners of America, is educating people and in the 2A community, Second Amendment rights. What are your rights? Gun advocacy and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like we said, that's our biggest show to date. What's next? Are we going to SHOT Show?
So, I think we'll do next year. Our plan is NRA.
So,
which is, I believe, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Next year.
I believe that's correct. And that's from what we've heard, the NRA show is like 5-10 times bigger than that GOA show that we just attended. So that's going to be, again, a step up. That's going to be our next biggest show, and that's coming relatively soon, next spring.
Right. That's right.
But
and then we'll do the GOA next
again.
year. Yeah. You know, I said my goal was SHOT Show in 5 years, and that was 2 years ago. So we'll see, man. We're making our steps up. We're getting there. But you know, I don't want to do things too quick and we're getting our feet wet again, moving up a little bit, little by little, and then when we hit SHOT Show, we're gonna hit it strong.
Exactly. We want to go to SHOT Show with a great setup.
Yeah.
And so, want to get a little comfortable first in that realm of shows and stuff. So, yeah.
We hit a lot of things here, Sean. What was your takeaway as far as the best things and the worst things? What were your thoughts?
Well, the best things, honestly, is just the connections we made, the great people we met. You know, we've mentioned a few names, but just everybody there, honestly. Such great people to meet around there, and hopefully we've made some connections to get some more content out on social media with some new people, and so I think that's the best thing, just connections. But as far as worst things, I'm gonna go ahead and say loading up our booth and to go home, that was kind of a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It could have been worse, but still wasn't easy. They had one small loading dock area for all of these vendors to pack up and go home. And so
I would say at least it was undercover, though.
Yeah.
It was not raining, but if it would have been raining.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've done that before at a lot of other shows where we have to load out in the rain, so at least there was cover.
Yeah.
But I know loading in, there was no air conditioning.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was
setting
rough.
up for 4 hours, no air conditioning.
That was rough. Usually the venues we go in at least have some type of air. Even the roll-up doors are open, but there's still some type of air on most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
I think that's just something you just don't think about if you attend shows like that. You don't think about the work that goes into setting it up and taking it down. I mean, stuff like the Palmetto and Holosun, I mean, their setups are massive, and they have teams working at like building those setups just for the weekend, and teams tearing it down. So there's a lot of work that goes into that stuff.
I think as far as my takeaways, definitely I wouldn't deviate from what you said at all as far as the plus. Definitely the people we came in contact with, whether it was contacts of of potential media, people or people that may test our armor, things of that nature, but just people in general that we talk to. Everybody in the 2A community is great people, and we always meet good people at the shows. So I think that is definitely number one takeaway as far as my favorite part. The bad part, I'll say, was I was hoping for more people.
Yeah.
There were quite a few, but I was kind of hoping there might have been a few more, but it's all cool.
Well, again, first run, nobody knew exactly what to expect. So,
and we did see a couple people from home that came by the booth and said hey.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Shout out to Chris Morgan.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, appreciate you guys coming by, and so it's a couple people that came by our booth that we knew from down home in North Carolina.
Yeah. Good deal. Oh, it was also college move-in weekend.
Oh my goodness.
University of Tennessee. So that made everything worse traveling in the city.
Downtown Knoxville on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Oh boy.
You can imagine that.
Trying to find places to eat at night. Everywhere was 45-minute, hour wait.
I have to say, maybe I say the highlight of the whole thing was going to Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's, I forgot about Buc-ee's.
Oh my goodness, that's the first time I'd ever been to one. So Tina told me, my wife told me, you got to go, and so we were able to to go by there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That's the cross between Sheetz and
Sheetz
Walmart.
and Walmart.
Yeah, on steroids.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't come here for Bucky's content, but if you get the chance, if you haven't been, definitely go to Bucky's.
Man, I'm
That's
telling you,
incredible.
we're plugging them. I don't know if they do
they
that.
deserve the plug.
Do they?
They deserve the plug.
Hey, we'll plug somebody else too then. When we went, because it was after we set up, Thursday, right? It was after we set up that we went there. And so we also went to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, which is pretty cool because I'm a knife guy. Our store, we got between 300 and 350 knives, big knife dealer. And so it was really cool to see Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I've never been in that store either. So I got two never had done befores.
Well, Smoky Mountain's the largest knife store in the world.
In the world, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty solid.
So it was pretty cool to see the different brands. And we carry a lot of different brands they carry. We got a lot of brands that they carry in there. They just have a lot more of them.
Yeah. Hey.
But we had more Protex than they did. We
barely,
did.
yeah.
We did. We had more Protex.
A little more Protex. if you're looking for Protex, we got you.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Honestly, I want to go back to Bucky's. If you go to Bucky's, make sure you go to the bathroom.
Oh, my.
The bathrooms are incredible.
Sean got
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it to you. You just have to go in there, and you have to just experience it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that wraps up the GOA show. That's a good ending for our trip.
Yeah, so we met a lot of people at the show and some people that were local to us that came up, and we appreciate the 2A community. And, you know, we go to the North Carolina, pretty much all the C&E North Carolina and Dixie shows. So, you know, you guys come out and check us out at the shows. You can see a list of shows if you Google North Carolina gun shows, we're at most of the C&E shows, and then all the Dixie and C&E shows. So pretty much all around North Carolina. Encourage you to come out and check us out there. Or, you know, if you're in central North Carolina, come to our store at 3276 South Church Street in Burlington. You know,
yeah, we'd love to be able to meet you guys that are here in our community and comment down below. You know, if we can associate a face to a name, we would love to be able to do it. We want to be close with you guys. We don't want this to just be we make videos and then go about our day and forget about it. If you watch our content, I assume you're here for a reason. You want to gain some knowledge or learn about some new products, you know, whatever it is. We want to be here with you and know who's watching our stuff, and we want to appreciate you.
and if you have any questions, you know, we get phone calls at our store. If you have tactical gear questions, feel free to call us. We get those calls all the time. When I pick up the phone, you know, I'll have people say, "Oh, you're the guy on the YouTube." Yeah. So we answer the phone, guys. We're all about customer service. We want to sell great gear at fair prices and give great customer service. So, you know, we're glad to take any questions that you have and listen to any comments that you have. So again, comment below, like us.
You know what?
Continue to check us out.
If you guys have any questions you want to hear on the show, call our store, 336-350-7026, and ask us your questions, and we will answer them on this show.
On this show, yeah.
So you can do a live call into Maverick Tactical, and we'll answer on this show. Speaking of calls, have you had any calls this week that stick out to you?
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but anyway, and this is a common call that we get, but I did have it this week as well, is, you know, explaining plates and what type of protection and what our plates are made of, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So I think we get, you know, quite a few calls on that and wanting people want to explain, you know, what type of coverage they may need, or what type of plate a ZM1 is, what exactly type of protection is that, or what's the materials in it, or things of that nature. So we do get a lot of calls on that, and this week that's the one that stands out to me the most this week. So, yeah, anytime you want to call in, guys, let us know what you want to hear. We'll do the content here and answer your questions and be glad to handle that. Before we finish the podcast, we always want to look at any questions that you might have or have submitted. And I think Sean has one on his phone here that he's looking at.
Yeah, well, not necessarily a question here, but just this guy talking about the MD2 IFAC kit. He said, mystery solved. I know a lot of people are having issues fitting that 4-inch dressing in with everything else. So, yeah, he showed you here how exactly to pack that thing full. And if you watch that video, it was a tight fit indeed, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember seeing that comment, and I actually will say this too. The more that gets worked in, the easier it is to come out. So, and I think in that comment, I remember him saying, making it easy to come in and out or whatever, making it easier. Did he say something about that? There was a comment.
Maybe not this one.
Okay, there was somebody that made mention about, not putting too much in it to where it will come in and out. And I will say that as it compacts and as you wear it or as it works in, it does get easier. As you practice taking it in and out, I found that it comes in and out easier. The first time I put it in, I thought, goodness, this thing's not going to come out. But as you work it some or, it wears in, and I really literally needed it a little bit.
Right.
And it made it easier to come out.
So, yeah, mystery solved. But he also said the NAR has 2 sizes of shears, the shorter version that fits, and he said there's a longer version that does not fit.
Yeah, so that's a great comment there.
Shout out to you for letting us know.
Letting us know that. That's exactly right. We knew that the Leatherman special, we knew that it wasn't going to fit, but I didn't know that. So that's great to know.
Yeah. And so he also said he put a Sharpie and a chem light stick in between the 2 compartments. Sharpie for his notes and, the chem light for just that light. Yeah,
so that's cool too. If you're not trained to use the decompression needle, there is a spot for, that in the IFAC. That's a great, thing to put in place of that. So great comment there too.
Yeah.
So we love to show you good gear, but we don't know it all, guys. We just like to show you the way we do things. Everybody has their own way of kind of setting your kit up and your gear up. And there's a lot of products out there too, as far as what goes into gear, what you're putting in. So again, great comment.
Yeah. If you guys can tell us some tips and tricks that you found that helped you, we would love to hear that from you because, again, we don't know everything.
Yeah, I want to know it for my gear.
Right.
For my kit.
If we can improve our kits.
Right.
And then help you improve your kits, we all just work together.
We're working as a community, guys.
We'll all have the best kit.
That's right.
So that concludes today's episode of The Tactical Edge. Guys, we appreciate you so much for tuning in. If you like what you hear, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of that stuff. And we look forward to making more of this content for you in the future. We enjoy doing this, so hopefully we can keep providing it, and hopefully you guys keep enjoying it. So until next time, we will see you again.